Welcome, everybody, to Greg Heym's Crossing the Line. We're laughing because I actually had to do a second take of that. You know, this is our 100th episode. You'd think I'd be able to introduce the show without screwing that up, but
This is our second take here.
For the first time, you messed up your name and not my name.
yes, well, again, try that at home. See how fast you can say Shar Sedge without spitting all over the place or just, you know.
I feel like I would win at that game.
Well, I would hope so. But yes, we are very excited. I can't believe this is the 100th episode. I went back and looked because I work in research. November 7th, 2023, I believe, is the first episode. It was Ray and Lina were here and Hannah and me, and we had no idea what we were doing. And
Speak for yourself.
well, I guess the aspect of filming hasn't changed, but content is the big thing here, Ray. Not that I'm dismissing what you do. But
There's one person's name on the show.
That's right. It's my neck on the chopping block here, you know?
I see Sedge's name on there.
Well, you know, they got to get something for their money. Anyhow, other than insulted. So we are celebrating, but we are going to do a regular beginning of the show. Then we're going to have some special guests, including finally, the public has been demanding to see what Ray and Lina look like. We're going to make that happen in the last segment of the show.
The reveal.
Are Scott and I going to man the cameras while you're there?
No, what we're going to do is turn the
that what's
camera
happening?
off on Ray. So he thinks he's on screen, but he's not. So, you know, they coordinated their outfits, so that works out well, too. And we're also having a little bit of single malt here. And
Courtesy of Sedge and Zuck.
I am
Yes.
the designated driver host here.
no, we
so
can't let
Cheers.
Scott
can't have all three people
Scott's not
drink.
21 yet, so he can't drink.
To 100 more?
To 100 more, yes.
Go.
Oh, it's good. So what we're going to do is
They're a strong.
every time we say inflation, I make a lawyer joke or I make a hair joke about Scott, which should be the entire
A
show.
lot of drinking.
That will be it. You know, we'll just give a quick postmortem on St. John's season. You know, I had the gig. I was watching it. It's funny because I'll pay attention to a song and then I'll look. It's like, wait, we're up by 7? It's like, wow. So I put my hat back on and then they'd be losing, so I had to take the hat off. And it was
You're the jinx.
well, me and Nikki both St. John's grads, so we were very in the mood, and the crowd was into it, and it just, you know what? They got beat by a better team. They tried to address their biggest need this year, bringing in these shooters. It didn't work out. I mean, Hopkins was great down the clutch,
First half, they went 9 for 18.
but Jackson
from three.
was terrible against some of these guys. Just did not get it done. But I'm sure we'll be active, and Pitino's getting an extension, maybe. But the question is, does he really want to coach? I don't know.
How old is he?
73, I think.
It looks like
crazy.
he still wants to coach.
Crazy.
That
he was
guy,
coaching. In 1990 was when Leighton, or 91 was when
Yeah,
Leighton hit that shot.
91. He's still in it.
Remember,
that guy.
he was coaching the Knicks in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, he was a very young head coach. But, yeah, so now I'm done. We're not going to mention college basketball for the
You
rest
gotta
of
remember, these players, you look at them like they're supposed to be adults, but they're kids.
The difference in play
it's
from college
unbelievable.
to pros is enormous when you think about it. You look at how poorly they shoot, you know, and wide open shots. I mean, the defense in college basketball is nowhere near where it is
How
in
about
the NBA.
scoring in the paint? College teams historically are like 30% in the paint. But I think it goes even deeper than that. Now with NIL, these guys aren't playing enough together.
Right.
You're putting these teams together at the beginning of a season, then you're expected to play a whole season, where the teams that have been together a little bit longer tend to do a little bit better, but it's a brand new calculation. I will say those St. John's played incredibly well. They should be really proud.
I think
Like
they are. And Zuby, it was a great career at St. John's. Good luck. Hope you get drafted and go to a nice school. But nobody's worked harder or represented the team better than he has for the time he's been here. And it's a success story. And his relationship with Pitino, you know, you can tell it's really genuine. So we're going to miss Zuby.
He's great.
Why is he
Now get out there and buy some players. So let's
Now,
go.
Is he not in
one
the
thing I
middle?
think you did celebrate this weekend was your 28th wedding
I
anniversary.
did. And just for the record, 2 dozen red roses.
Wow.
Chocolate.
Look at that.
I
Look at this guy.
I did
This
everything.
charmer.
I did everything she asked me to do that day, including going to see our neighbor's daughter in Shrek Jr. the musical. Mary Kay Carr, you were great as the dragon. It was very enjoyable to watch these little kids do this stuff. It's always fun. And we had a nice dinner at Sophia in Amityville, one of my favorite restaurants. It was very nice, I got to say.
Great.
It almost felt like a date. Like
Did you get the flowers delivered, or did you pick them up and bring
I
them
got them
home
delivered
yourself?
because I happened to get an email here. We belong to this corporate discount thing. And it was like, flowers. I'm like, oh, this is somebody
That's
telling
a sign.
me
That's a sign.
that maybe Lisa Ray was trying to remind me, like, get flowers and have them send it. But it was nice, and she was very happy. It's funny because to show you, it's not just me. She didn't get me a card, like, because we typically don't do that.
Right.
So then she felt really bad after the card, the flowers, the candy.
Oh, you got a card also.
Of course.
Read it for us.
I didn't memorize it. But, you
So
know,
many milestones for this guy.
It's very impressive. You're growing up 100 episodes. Look at you.
well, it was 28 on the 28th. And I realized, too, I was 28 when we got married. So that's about all the 28 connection. Now that's all gone.
That's a sign.
Next year it'll be 29 on the 28th, and then nobody will care.
2 + 8 is 10. Add a 0, it's 100. It's,
Right.
6,
it's
7, all that stuff. But yeah, everything I said about my wife, I still stand by. She is the nicest person and still gorgeous.
Bring her
and
in.
Getting better looking. No, she just texted me before you go, and she's like, my crown popped out. I got to go to the dentist tonight. And I'm like, oh, great. That's it. Now, see, it's like back to reality. You have
That's
like
an
nice
expensive
weekend.
text right there.
Well, no, if it popped out, he's got to put it back in. It's just a glue issue. I don't think you should charge for that.
you don't respond, then
we-
it didn't happen.
Can we put a bow on the St. John's though? Usually, when the team you lose to gets knocked out in the next round, you're really, really, really happy.
Unless.
But I feel like you didn't have that feeling, and you got to talk about that shot. We can't talk about this weekend without that shot.
One of the greatest games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of it because I just didn't want to at that point. But no, I can't. And it's not like I was all mad and throwing. You know, we finished the gig. We tried to uplift the crowd a little bit, but no. No matter what, if it's baseball or hockey or basketball, and my team is out.
You don't watch it anymore?
Well, there's always another sport to move on to. By the way, the Yankees are 3-0. Like it's there's always something to do. The NFL draft is coming up. You know, there's other things.
Baseball.
To focus
159 more games to go.
on. Hey, they all count. But yeah, look, it's tough because you watch UConn beat Duke. We beat UConn twice. We beat them really bad in the Big East Championship. It's just all about matchups, and you can see a game changes like that, and you see this in the NBA all the time. It's a game of runs more than any other sport, right? Because you can score a lot quicker than any other
Look,
sport.
I think it's also inspiring to watch for us and our business. I mean, how many times are we involved in a transaction where you seem like we're dead in the water, like this is not going to work out, and we find a way? I mean, the coach of UConn, Dan Hurley, was so energetic when they were down by 19, 15, 14. He was still so positive and getting the crowd amped up. So I think it was an incredible game.
Jay Williams on ESPN said if they win one more time, 3 and 4 years, you're going to talk about him being as good as Krzyzewski.
Well, and you talk about the NIL when you think of what UCLA used to do, but you'd have Kareem for 3 years, right? And you had Bill Walton for 3 years. Like you had your great players, and Duke, they used to force them to stay. I remember reading that Krzyzewski told Leighton, if you don't get your degree, your number doesn't go up there.
Right.
Now it's like they don't even care. It's like I'm going to the pros.
Right.
Look, I had a high school English teacher said it best. When Herschel Walker famously left Georgia early and went to the USFL, and he said, I was surprised to hear my teacher say this. He goes, why? Why should he go to school? So he can get a job like me? I mean, if I could have left business school a year or two early and gotten the same job, I would have done it. I can't knock them for that.
But what somebody was saying about the NA, I can't remember if it was Patino or Calipari, but he basically said these kids come freshman year, you get a certain amount of money. Then you get offered more money at another school, more money your third year, more money your fourth year.
Yeah, they're free agents every year.
So they're free agents. But what happens when you're at school, 4 different schools for 4 years, you're not getting your degree. such a small percentage of these kids end up in the NBA that after 4 years, reality sets in.
Well, there's
Yeah.
always the G League or overseas, but the
even-
question is, how much money are they going to make in those 4 years?
Right, but then reality sets in where all of a sudden you're going to a job, you're not getting a car, you're not getting free flights,
No, but maybe they
nobody's
don't.
cheering
Maybe they
for
don't need
you.
to work. The NIL money's big money. I mean, it's not
There are
insignificant.
kids who are not playing at all getting $250,000 to $300,000 a year right
But
now.
in the scheme of things, how long does that last?
Yeah,
you?
no,
Right?
totally fair.
No, for those, but for
So
the
it's
people
not
getting a couple
preparing.
of million. Look, there's a big difference between a great college player and a great NBA player. Christian Laettner, maybe the best collegiate player I ever saw. Bobby Hurley, a bunch of them. You look at what Larry Johnson did in college and Chris Webber and all these great players. But some of them, you know, like I love Zuby. I think he's great. I don't know that he's going to, you know, be that star in the pros because he doesn't shoot that well from the outside. He shoots okay, and he doesn't have the size. You know, that's a problem. These guys are missized, and that I think that's what happened to Laettner, the great Malik Sealy at St. John's. You know, they wanted to move him to a 2-guard from small forward. He couldn't hit threes consistently, and then unfortunately he had a tragic accident. But it's just a different game.
But he's got a connection to St. John's, though, right? So you have alumni, you have the coaching staff. Sometimes you can come back as an assistant coach or a commentator. But when you're bouncing around 4 different schools, none of the schools have a commitment to you where they feel like they need to take care of you. And there's a lot of drawback to that.
You know, I wouldn't mind getting NIL money every year. You know, if I had to go to a different firm.
say-
You know, it
I
sounds
think
like
I've said this before. When my kid, he's 2.5 years old, almost 2.5. He loves to drill. He loves to shoot, and people are like, "Wow, he's so great." I'm like, I just want the NIL money. I don't need to go to the NBA.
Shar will be retiring when that happens. All right, so we're gonna get to the why we're here before we party even more, but we're gonna take a break for the messages from these guys, and coming to you as always from Studio 1873, conveniently located right outside my office.
Do you have a big move coming up? I'm Scott Nadler with Cross Country Mortgage, and I've got the loan to match your dream home. Whether it's your first or your fifth, I'll make the process quick and easy. Call me today. Let's make it happen.
Sedge & Zuckerman is a boutique residential law firm guiding you and your clients every step of the way with a solution-oriented approach. Make sure to work with a deal maker and not a deal breaker. Contact us today at sznylaw.com.
And we are back.
Woo, I'm so excited.
Don't make me take that scotch away from you, Shar. Okay, you're here to answer questions.
It's apple
There was
juice.
a lot more in that
apple
cup before
juice,
the
yeah.
break.
I'm glad we're filming on a Sunday, though.
Sure.
Sunday evening.
All right, so we're going to start with our next chairman of the Fed, Shar. No. So maybe we'll have a new Fed chair in May if the confirmation happens and goes smoothly. But the interesting thing is now the markets have changed dramatically and predicting that a rate hike is more likely than a cut. We'll start with Nadler so you get a chance to warm up.
I actually have a great thought on this.
Okay, then you go first.
I can start, right?
Yes.
So what's the one thing our listeners have learned about rate cuts? When the Fed cuts rates, how does that impact mortgage rates? You go.
It doesn't have an immediate impact.
It does not.
takes time
And
to work its
sometimes
way.
rates even go up, right? The problem is the psychology of the public who don't listen to the podcast and understand. So
Right,
my
who are these people?
so my-
Lena, go out on the street and round these people up. We got to straighten this
So
out.
my concern is when they increase, if and when they raise the benchmark rates, are people going to overreact and think it's a
I don't
bad- a
think
bad scenario?
in this environment, because we have this surge in energy prices. We all know what's happened to oil since the war started. This idea of the tariffs, I don't know why people talk about this anymore. But
Nobody was talking about
when,
tariffs.
no, I'm saying they still talk about it. They still do. I always said tariffs. Anyhow. So yes, inflation, we've all agreed that employment's the bigger problem, right? There's no hiring going on. We have to fix that.
Or firing.
But then you look at PPI, and since the PCE data that the Fed values most is a month behind, what happens? You know, we was talking about the jobs reports being revised so massively. So I get it. I mean, there's basically the next couple of meetings, there's a higher chance, slightly higher chance of a hike than a cut. And remember, we were hoping to get at least one more cut this year. So did you get any calls recently? It's like, I keep hearing they're going to hike rates. Why are they doing that? What's that going to mean to mortgages?
Less about what the Fed is doing, more about what's happening in the overall market. I think people understand that rates have ticked up. You know, as we talked about last week, there was that article that came out. Rates are now below 6%, and that lasted for 2 days.
And what do we tell everybody on that episode? Like, get out there and get busy.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
And now rates are up almost 0.5% in the last month.
Yeah.
And
we always say rates go up quickly, they go down slowly. So with news,
that's another rule.
You got to drink to that. With news like that, with news that we're seeing, it is inflationary. What I will say though, in that same article, it does say at the next meeting in April, which is in about a month, they're probably not going to hike. The odds of that happening are very low.
No, I don't think that the odds of them, they're not going to do anything before Warsh is in.
So then you have Warsh coming in. Most likely,
And
will
June
start.
would be the first time.
And to think that Warsh would hike in his first meeting, you would have to see things change drastically from where they are now. So I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of hyperbole in that article. I mean, it's looking at what the market is seeing, but the markets react very quickly.
Well, the CME group has this indicator, and you know it's the first time. I don't know how long they've been doing this because I was a little lazy in the research, but you know it's the first time it's crossed
100 episodes.
Inside thought. Inside thought.
This 50% threshold of it. You know, like people don't predict recessions that often when they're doing multi-year forecasts. You also they don't seem to predict rate hikes because the Fed's always slow and way behind the curve. But, you know, this could be a good thing for mortgage rates because you worry about inflation. Again, when oil goes up, the price of everything goes up because everything has to be shipped, you know, or flown or driven somewhere. So this could help maybe get those mortgage rates down because people say, all right, it's not good now, but it will get better, right? And that you know, it's always about the future.
100%. It's always forward looking. And look, I think leading up to the war, you saw a considerable downtick in rates, even where they are right now. They're still 0.25% to 3/8 lower than where they were a year ago.
Right.
So it's still important to look at the full picture here. But with all this stuff, we're still in a wait and see. It's still relatively fresh. I mean, the war officially kicked off, you know, about a month ago at this point.
It's the 28th or something. I forget.
Something like that, right? So there's still a lot more to be done. We're still in a wait and see mode. So we're gonna wait and see.
If I was the Fed chair, and I hired you as my deputy or assistant,
Like I'm going to work for you. Come on. Well, I guess I kind of am.
What would you? What would you advise me?
Oh boy.
Get another job. Quit. No. Is it what we've said before? The prudent mood right now is to do nothing, and hope that war ends soon. You don't expect inflation to come down because it's like rates. It's going to take time. Try to let we've been either hiking or cutting so much of the last couple of years. You want to let the market kind of
Digest
find
it.
its own equilibrium because right now you're looking at rates about 3.5% for the Fed funds rate. That's a little high, higher than it needs to be in a typical world, but it's not where that is. It's what they're doing with it because that's how everybody will react. So what you want to do is act confident that look, we're confident that we can watch this carefully, data dependent, and we don't think it's necessary to step in yet. I mean, there's no problem letting inflation get to 9% annually. What's 3 and change? I mean,
Right.
When you think about it, it's still, and it's not as volatile. Even when it went up, it was kind of a slow thing. Now, who knows when we ever get a February or March, PCE report, then we'll really know.
But I think the fear is that inflation will continue to stay where it is, if not increase. Right. But when inflation ran wild in 2021 and it went up to 9%, that's where we dumped trillions of dollars into the economy that was all spent, that's going to happen, and that's inevitably going to make its way through the economy. With this, unless you think the war is going to go on forever,
Right.
you think and you think oil prices are just going to continue to rise, then I would understand that. But I don't think anyone reasonably believes that's going to happen. They think there's going to be an end in somewhat. I think the markets are predicting within the next 3 to 6 months there should be some kind of resolution.
Right, and some of the decisions they've made as far as strategy has taken into account that maybe we slow things down in certain areas to let some of those the ships get by
Right.
to sort of lower. I don't know how effective that was though.
Well, the problem too is there's the other part that everybody's worried about now with hiring being non-existent. More talk about a recession. We talked about stagflation last week. That's when you have high inflation but no real economic growth. Again, the missing thing that everybody forgets is high unemployment, which we do not have. But now economists are coming out. Moody's has the chances of a recession of last year at 50%. Goldman Sachs at 30%.
And then
We've been
next year-
hearing
in the
about
next 12
recessions
months.
for the last.
You could say that every year.
Every year, there's articles.
You know that old
come out.
joke, like economists have predicted 12 out of the last 4 recessions. Like, it's just what we do.
I don't know any economic jokes.
You never heard
Well,
that one before?
As the Fed,
Oh, no, I just noticed Ray's put the mic right near him. He's saying, I didn't realize Ray had so much to say this episode.
Scotch
He's
makes me funnier.
one sip away from sinking.
He's one sip over the line.
as the Fed chairman, you got to start learning these jokes.
Yes.
The troubles.
I don't know. He may need a lawyer by the end of the show. Filming while
I'm
intoxicated.
taking the rest of the day off. Call me tomorrow.
Well, luckily, you're the boss. Well, speaking of things you shouldn't do at work, this was an interesting article. ADP released what they call the Global Workforce Survey. And they asked people how they feel about their jobs. Like, how certain are you that your job is safe? Now, Lina, you didn't read this, right? I'm sure Ray didn't read it either. Okay.
He's reading it right now.
I can ask you two, because these guys I sent the article to, although they probably didn't read it. What percent of Americans that they asked, do you feel, that your job is safe from being eliminated? What percent of Americans do you think said yes?
Safe from being eliminated.
Yes.
40s?
28%. Now that shows you that
That's
people
scary.
look. Some of that is the economy. A lot of that is AI. Could we eliminate Nadler? I don't know.
No.
Does AI have hair like that? Oh shit! I made a hair joke.
It didn't say in the article what that how those numbers compare to past years, right?
Nah, again, I didn't do that.
You just read the headline.
I was in St. John's mode. What do you want me to do? But here's what's really interesting. Can you take a guess at what country had the highest rate? No, none of the respondents in any of the countries was above 50%,
Right.
and only one of them was higher than a third. Do you want to guess what country?
I think I remember. So I'll.
If you read
bow out of this?
if you read the blog
that
this
guess.
week, you would have known,
I
Shar.
like that.
It's Nigeria. At random, the most insecure workers in Japan. Only 5% of them said their job was safe.
It's funny. I got an email from someone from Nigeria. That person's still there. They're still employed. Yeah.
He said if it just needed some money.
Had to wire some money over.
Yeah, well, So how do you think your employees feel about the security of their job? You want to tell them, say anything to them while you have that
So
chance?
first of all, I love you all. By the way, Nishi from my office showed up today with balloons.
That is very nice.
This is Shar's 100th episode in dog years. So he got the.
I actually wanted to see how many I've been on. I don't know how many I've been on, but
And we don't have the resources to count that. You go to the YouTube page and just look how many ones you're in the picture. And
so
then you'll know.
Nishi's job is definitely secure. She's going to be going on maternity leave.
By the way,
soon,
she
so
is
I'm
my
gonna miss
favorite
her.
employee
She is.
at Sedgen Zuckerman.
Yeah. The first thing my mind went to was AI. It wasn't the economy causing a loss in jobs. And I'll be honest, I don't think we're quite there yet, but there are going to be positions in our field that'll be marginalized a little bit by AI. There's a lot of data entry and work where you can really automate it. I think there's still going to be a huge need for human interaction with borrowers, with attorneys, transfer agents that you're not going to be able to get away from, but there is going to be a part of our business that's going to look very different in 5, 10, 15, 20 years.
I mean, an AI loan daddy. Can you imagine such a thing?
It's being worked on.
It's being worked on. He may be a robot. I don't know. He's like, he always looks too perfect to be like human. I mean, look at us schmageggies over here. I mean, come on.
Why do I have to get dragged into this?
Why not you?
My
Let's be
wife thinks
honest.
I'm very handsome.
If Schmageggi was on your
When was
bingo
her
card, you
last
gotta take a
eye
drink.
examination? My wife's like, no, you're not losing your hair because you don't have any to lose. That's,
I feel like it's a Dangerfield bit over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, I get no
Yeah.
respect.
Right.
Well, except for this. This is very nice.
Thank you very
the
much.
treats. I can't wait. We don't even know what's in there.
I don't know what's in there either. I didn't touch it.
It could be a ransom note for all we know. It could be anything. All right. So now let's talk about things we're actually envious of. Wall Street bonuses, $49.2 billion last year. And that's, as Sebastian Maniscalco would say, cash. The state controller's office counts this as it gets paid. $49.2 billion. That's a record.
Yeah.
Not if you adjust for inflation, but that doesn't sound as exciting as it's a record. Up 9% from 24. Now remember, stocks rose over 25% in 23 and 24. So to have this be a record, and you wonder how much money that is. Well, we know it's money we can't imagine. It's enough to buy every apartment for sale in Manhattan and still have $30 billion left.
Wow.
So what do you think about this, Scott? How was your bonus? Was it like that?
We don't get bonuses. It's an impressive number, of course. The market did very, very well. When we've been talking about AI a lot here, I wonder, there's investment that you put into AI, and then there's also a return on that investment. So if a lot of these investment firms are able to cut costs, that increases their profit margin, allows them to issue a lot more bonuses, coupled with the fact that the market did very, very well.
Speaking of profits, up over 30% last year to $65.1 billion. Average bonus on the street, Shar, $246,900. What was the average bonus at Sedge and Zuckerman?
I'll tell you what. If Nishi is able to increase our net legal fees by 30%, I promise you she would get a huge bonus also. But
You're on record.
There's two.
And she's going to have a baby, right? She needs the
deserves
money.
it. She deserves it. She's
You
wonderful.
could try to tell her that, Shariar is a good name.
Wow. That was amazing.
I was up all night trying to pronounce
Rolled off
your
the
full
tongue.
name correctly.
I say no hire, no fire, no hire, no fire. You're like rhymes with caviar, Shariar. Rhymes with caviar, Shariar.
No, you say everything.
But I would say, listen, there's two. Some people heard what you said about those bonuses and said, wow, that's not fair. They should give more money to, the employees and the people who need it. Maybe yes, maybe no. That's not our role here to discuss. But from a corporate standpoint, these boards know how much money they're making, how much value their CEOs bring. And if they're putting a price tag where we need to pay our guy this much to keep him here so we can keep growing, it's a numbers game for them. If
Well,
they
we're
were
talking
in the
about
red,
NIL, right? And talent. That's what Wall Street's all about. They bring you
Exactly.
in, they pay you. You have a bad year, you're gone,
Exactly.
or you're eliminated. Oh, we're not doing well in money management. All right, let's cut. Every year the layoffs. We keep talking about them. Thousands here, thousands there. It's not for everybody. That's another thing.
True. But you're right. And if a CEO is not performing, they're not part of that. They're not getting those numbers. And that's what these companies do. They need to make a bottom line. And if that's what it takes to get talent, that's what it takes.
It's a cutthroat business. I mean, it's very competitive. So they're not just issuing out bonuses for nothing.
Yeah. Listen, it's like our business also. You can have a relationship with brokers and loan officers for years and years and years. One deal goes haywire, one client complains, one deal falls through, and that entire relationship, it's gone.
Right.
In 2 seconds.
Right.
Wow,
Right?
Put it like that. Yeah, maybe they deserve a
Right?
decent
If
amount.
I say one dumb thing on this podcast, that's it. 2 more tries and I'm out.
I could make so many jokes right now. One? I mean, come on. I love my sponsors.
You give me layups, and I got to give you one back.
I appreciate it. I like a challenge, though.
We had somebody we were sending for a closing one time. She's wonderful, Marianne. She's done a ton of closings for us, and she comes in and we give her the file, and my partner is like, Marianne, this is going to be the easiest one. It's a layup.
Famous
she
last
looks him
words.
dead in the eyes. What's a layup?
Like
Marianne.
I think even my wife would know that one, but I'll check when I get home, by the way, if her crown's been put back in. Hi, honey.
I was just wondering about you.
All right, so Loan Daddy,
Yes, sir.
what are you seeing in the future now? Now, we're going to get a jobs report on Friday. We're going to see what that says. That's going to mean a lot, because if it's another loss, then that's going to put a lot more pressure on the Fed.
100%.
They're really. I may even get a little sympathy for them.
Yeah.
You want to take a guess? You don't have to name the number. Positive or negative job growth in March?
I think it's going to be positive but muted. It's going to be a negligible number.
I have a feeling that we're going to look and it's going to be like a blow-away number, and we're not going to understand why.
Tell them your theory about the plus minus every other month.
Well, no, we did that before, but I'm saying when you have enough minuses not negated by pluses, eventually you're going to have it's going to make any growth look good. The ADP numbers that they do, this 4-week moving average, are not good.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about 9,000.
Right.
It's not any number to get excited about. But again, stocks are being rattled now because of the war and the spike in oil prices and the concern about inflation. The stock market can change like that.
What is the forecast right now?
The forecast, I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
It's too early.
I didn't see
it's
that.
only Monday.
That's true. It is. Or
I
Sunday.
mean, it's
When
always
does it come out?
No,
Or
there's
Sunday?
probably a forecast, but
When does it come out?
Friday
Friday.
morning when I'm driving up to Buffalo to spend Easter with my son,
Ooh, why didn't he come home?
because they don't have a break for Easter. He had spring break 2 weeks ago, which he came home early to see the morning and evening sessions of the East Regional in Buffalo. He had a great time at those games.
Which games did he see?
He saw Michigan and Michigan State.
That's pretty cool.
He had a blast. He said I told him it's an environment like you don't see. The Big East tournament is kind of like that too. But when you have basically 4 teams playing in each session, the fan group is very diverse. And it's kind of cool, And look, one and done tournaments are the best. Look at the NFL playoffs. It's anything can happen. Yeah. So what are you seeing, Shar? You're a lawyer. Everybody thinks lawyers are smart. They even let them run the Federal Reserve. What do you think?
Listen, I think our business is more based on need than anything else. The rates can go up a little bit. The rates can go down a little bit. If people are having babies and they grow out of their apartments, they have to move. If they're empty nesters and they want to downsize, they're going to sell, they're going to buy.
Getting divorced.
They might not be so happy about if they're, buying in the dip or it goes up a little bit. I think at the end of the day, we're going to have transactions. You have to do good by your clients, be honest, be forthcoming, manage expectations, and then you'll ride this wave until things get really
You also can
busy
use
again.
this as a buyer right now to help you when you're negotiating. Right? Because if things are volatile and rates are going up, that can push more potential buyers out of the market. And if you're still there and you're interested in something, you can negotiate better terms for yourself.
The challenge there, though, is inventory, right? Because, and it really stinks because rates were hitting below 6 right as you're getting ready for the spring market. You're like, okay, this is the momentum. I did a Zoom last week and someone asked me a very difficult question. He asked, what would it take for the New York City market to take off like a rocket? Like, what's been keeping it? Because especially here in Manhattan, prices have basically not moved in almost a decade. And, co-ops, especially on renovated ones, are trading at prices from like 2014, 2013. And you say, well, less inventory would bring prices up, but it wouldn't lead to a bonanza of sales. Lower mortgage rates would help. But we had lower mortgage rates and prices didn't take off like a rocket.
Regulations changing. We have mansion tax here. We have mortgage recording tax. All title insurance is very expensive here.
By the way,
things help.
it seems good news. The proposed across the board 9.5% property tax increase here in New York City is not going to happen. But we knew that.
The fact that it was even proposed is a problem.
Well, it's a negotiating tactic. It's like if I go, Shar, I want to raise, and you go, all right, I'll give you 2%. I'm like, what? It's like I wanted 20, and then I agree to 4, and I'm like, well, at least he got double what he wanted. And you're like, man, I can't believe I got him for only 4%.
That's right. But it's all the same. First of all, I was going to make a joke about you being my assistant, but I don't want that to become a thing.
See, the assistant federal chairman or the assistant to the federal chairman?
I'm the assistant to the regional manager. I'm Dwight Schrute now all of a sudden, right? I'm not that quirky. But hey, I just keep a job open for me or my son. I told you, in like 6 years, he may be calling you.
No problem. And if we're still doing this in 6 years, you got a job.
I don't know. What's the Vegas? What does the CME say about? Do they have like an indicator for how long Greg's podcast lasts?
We got to check Kalshi.
Well, we got to just make sure these guys keep making money so they can sponsor the show.
Thank you very much.
Because what am I going to do with this hour every Monday? Sleep in? Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Anyhow, well, I want to thank you guys for your support and being on the show, and we're going to do more of them. And we're going to have some special guests, starting with one of our frequent sub co-hosts and the guy that really wrote the book on how to do real estate podcasts, my good buddy Vince Rocco.
And I will guarantee you he's better dressed than all of us.
No, he's better dressed today than he is when he hosts his own show.
Really? Is that
so
true?
I really feel
seen
excited. But tune in. We'll have our guests on when we get
Congratulations,
back.
Greg.
Thank
really
you.
amazing.
100.
Cheers.
Looking to stage a property but on a tight budget and timeline? Stage with Stage and Fold. Stylish, lightweight, foldable, 3D printed cardboard furniture that looks real. Quick delivery and easy assembly. Staging starts at just $199 a month per room, and setup takes less than 30 minutes. Contact us today to stage smarter, sell faster, save thousands with Stage and Fold.
All right, and we are back. I mentioned special guests. Well, I'm not going to clap for myself. That seems terrible, but we will add the sound effect in if there's more people on here.
You can. We don't mind clapping for you.
I appreciate that. That's why you're here, Vince. So we were going to have our co-hosts on this segment. Morgan, unfortunately, is away.
Yeah, we miss
but we
her.
have Lisa Ray Castragno here, our senior VP of Research.
Thank you.
and whose mom loves me.
Don't mention
I'm not
her name.
saying her name.
You're not going to say the name.
She said I have to start paying her residuals if I say her name.
That's what my mom told
So
her.
now you don't get a hello.
Smart lady.
Yes, well.
She said, you're going to mention my name all the time. She wants to
absolutely.
get paid.
I mean, all the time, Lina. And the man that it really showed us all how to do a podcast. Or we just looked and said, if he can do it, why can't I? Vince Rocco.
It's more that than not, of course.
Now, Vince, it's like with my gigging. Now I'm sort of mentoring Nikki in how this whole process works, how you get gigs, what you do about it. And, is that okay now, Ray? We better.
That's moving on.
You think 100 episodes, we'd have like extras on the floor and
we'd
stuff
have it all
like that.
down pat.
The wave behind the scenes here.
Well,
Get
Vince has got to
closer.
take over the whole room. Pretty soon, I'm going to be out of the studio by
Okay.
then.
Hey.
I actually like sitting over here. This is really a good.
But anyway, get back, and Nikki's like, oh, how'd you learn all this stuff? I said, well, somebody taught me.
taught you, right.
And that man of music was my good buddy, Pat Jordan. But Vince Rocco, who was gracious enough to have me on his show a couple of times before he got a chance to do this. Of course, he's using his own mug because he needs a
should.
promotion if he ever wants to beat my ratings.
I need a lot of promo. A lot of promo. With all that lovely thing said, we have something for you too. So we understand it's a little celebration today.
Oh, wow.
So we want to give you a little opportunity. No, I can't use this. Probably.
Oh, don't look at me.
Sprinklers are gonna
I never smoked, so I don't know.
Sprinklers, easy.
I will blow it out quickly.
I can't.
Or maybe I won't blow it out quickly.
There you
Okay.
go.
Hey, woo!
Happy 100.
Yes.
I'll clap for that. Thank
You
you.
can.
And you know what? I love red velvet.
Well, I was going to say this morning when I was deciding, I didn't really know what kind of cake flavor you liked the best. So what did I do? I
You chose your favorite.
I chose my favorite.
Exactly.
Red
And red velvet is
Where
my
did you
favorite.
grab that one from?
Up by my neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
And we still need to see what's in this box.
Well, I
Oh, yeah.
One of Shar's.
But I
Lovely
love a
and
red velvet.
But anybody can indulge if they want. Even brought
Indulge. Just move the whole thing on this side. And you
know.
boys talk
Okay.
and I'll just eat.
Or we'll just have a food fight at the end of the episode. That'll
That's
also
okay.
work
That
out well.
works.
So
No, I'm going to duck then because, I don't want to.
I tease my good friend Vince, but he's really a great guy. When he films on Tuesdays, he comes in my office, drinks coffee, complains about everything. I pretend to listen, and I tease
A
him.
lot of drama on Tuesday morning.
No,
I
it's
burned my
it's
finger.
fun.
We don't have any insurance for that stuff, so have some scotch and it'll clean it up.
Then you'll feel better.
I know.
You'll feel nothing.
So in trying to build a format for this, your show is a different animal in that you bring in experts from various things. For us, it's about the economy, but you're always stealing from my podcast, aren't you?
Well,
And my blog and anything else I write.
it gives me all the source of information that I need. I tell him all the time, I do love what you guys do.
Thank you.
It provides not only me, but my clients, lots of firsthand information and data. And yes, I do pull it for information when I'm talking to my guest here at the table on Tuesday mornings. It's
And-
relevant, up-to-the-minute information.
And how much do I get paid for that? You let your mom know that sometimes we do stuff for free and it's nice. And
Okay.
now that's the
you
reward.
work it out with Lucy.
Actually, I get paid.
Because I can say Lucy to the cows come home because that's my mom.
there you go.
So it's all
You
right.
can't call your mother by her first name. That's just
No,
wrong.
call her mommy.
What
Well,
kind of
she doesn't
Italian?
have.
I call her mommy. That's what I call her
You don't have
mommy.
to pay a residual. I know.
I do not have to pay a residual. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
So,
we have
but
to.
it's and you've been on my show and I've done your show
Absolutely.
since. Now I got those knuckleheads, Scott and Shar sponsoring. So
I
it's
love
been
them though. They're really good.
Yeah.
all right.
They're terrific.
I've enjoyed working
Yeah.
with them.
And
They're
nice to
fun.
see them
They-
offline this morning too. I usually watch them. or
Right, that's
listen to
right.
them,
Because
right?
you don't get a chance
It's
to
like
see
that's what
it
they look
on-
like in person. I didn't realize Nadler was this handsome until I got next to him.
I know in the hair how it comes.
Scotty walked in. I said, "Oh my goodness, look at that!"
We mentioned Nadler's hair again.
His hair, I know.
And Shar,
Or
I
Shar's
understand
lack
that-
thereof.
And
Shar,
Shar, yeah.
Shar enjoyed his liquid.
Perfect
You
contrast.
can say scotch. It's okay.
Oh, he has scotch too.
Yeah. Well, he's the one that bought me the
He was-
bottle
he
of
was saying that
Glenlivet.
he
Well,
bought it.
Oh, sorry, Glenfiddich that we
Well,
were
that's
drinking.
okay.
But all right, so you've co-hosted the show a bunch now.
Yes.
You were nervous in the beginning.
Well, who wouldn't be?
I wasn't. I doubt Vince was, because Vince
What?
just loves Vince.
Well, 'cause,
Look,
You're-
you know what? I
you get
even
brought
dressed for
in,
him.
like-
I put a button-down shirt.
I
on.
didn't know he had adult clothes. to be
Our
honest.
chief will be very happy when he sees this episode. Long sleeves, button-down shirt, just for you.
Oh,
You think?
I'm gonna cry.
yeah, it felt intimidating. Like the first time you sit down and you know that the cameras are there,
Of course.
and you're a little too conscious of it, and you're worried about the things that you're going to say. And then this one, we don't edit anything, and I'm going, all right,
We don't.
that's a problem because what if I
If
say
we were
something
that
like
particular, we'd
you,
have
you
no
get
show.
something wrong, like
I
you
know.
mention a data point or a number, and then you wait, I got it wrong, and then you're correcting yourself, and it's like, wait, we don't edit this? What? And I gotta,
Live and in
you know,
color.
right? So you kind of get used
on
to.
perfection.
Oh, yes.
Have we reached
yes,
it
we
yet?
do. I know. Call me when we reach it.
12
But-
years from
so
me,
it's
and I
a
don't know
little
that I got there yet.
intimidating.
It's
And
okay.
plus, I've worked with him forever and a
I
day,
know.
so it's different. Like
Wait,
we
you consider
chat.
like 25 years forever and a day? Yeah, kind of
it's
seems
it's
that way.
actually going to be. It's 20. Actually, no, it's 26 in March.
All right, we don't
March
have
is
to add to the
26.
number. We really
Okay.
don't.
So how we,
You're
communicate in the
you're aging
office
him.
sometimes is so different. And I'm like, we'll go back and forth a little bit. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. Like while we're sitting here filming and we're squabbling about something silly.
Let me ask you a question though. So this
Go
is,
for it.
This is number 100. Okay.
Yes.
And look. Yeah.
That's right.
I agree.
Right?
And I could kind of relate. And I'm like, so what are your thoughts after producing? And we all know it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
is.
But
the work
how
that
do you-
goes in.
What are you thinking after 100 shows? That's very significant and very honorable.
Well,
I'm impressed. Okay, very impressed.
I know you've done multiple times that, so you
well,
know.
no, but
I
you
think-
do it every week like I do, which is important.
Well, in the beginning, you don't know what you're doing, right? So you just like try to say, all right, we're going to talk. We'll use the blog as the basis for this, and then we'll just expand on that. And then it's like, all right, that's good, but where can we take it from there? And my wife would laugh because she says this about me all the time. When you strive for perfection, it never ends. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I just gave up on that and just tried to produce watchable.
Well, but she's right though.
No,
right.
it's
produce watchable. There's
I
the
think
word.
the less structured it's gotten, the better it's gotten, because you can have a whole list of questions and you can do all this research, and I send Scott and Shar articles every week that they never read. And Shar reads them.
Like my prep material, nobody knows what that is.
No, but then you realize what's really unique about the show is you. And that's got to come through. Like people have said, what's the secret to writing a blog or doing a podcast? It's got to be about you. Because there's a million people that can do the same thing and talk about the same stats and give their own opinion. But what can you add to it? And I think 100%. It's that stuff.
And listen, numbers can be boring, right? We all know numbers can be boring.
What?
It's dry.
Lina disagrees strongly with that statement.
It's dry material. It can be.
I call him friend, but I also tell him, every week when I see him in his office for coffee, I listen to the show, or I now watch the show.
And by the way, who else listens to the show?
Who is him?
My brother.
Oh God, yeah.
Shout out.
My brother. I mean, he probably doesn't listen to mine anymore, but whatever.
Wow.
He's also numbers oriented.
Given the choice, which one would you pick, Vince?
Well,
you know this too. When you have to watch back your show.
Yeah, I hate that.
To approve it, it is the most painful experience ever.
Painful.
Because you hate everything about yourself.
Well, the first time you gave
We're
me
not
the
all as
episode,
handsome as Ray. And we can't say like,
And
wow, look at that.
when you gave, sent me the link, and I'm watching myself, and I'm like, oh my God, is that what my voice sounds like? Am I really that short?
Yes.
Yes, you're really that short.
And I sit on my cushions to boost me up a little bit. I'm in my big girl chair, but
well, look on the bright side. It was Hannah that was the first one that needed a lift, so to speak, in the chair. So
there you go.
You're not alone in that regard.
But no, but then
I'm
you start.
tall too, but I need a lift. These chairs sometimes feel.
You got to lift with your shoes. Don't worry about it.
I have my
No,
disco
but you start
boots on
watching
today.
yourself back, and it's different when you start to look at like the content, and you start paying attention to the conversation, and you stop nitpicking about like the little things about you that are.
But I think what he said is correct though, because again, numbers can be boring or whatever. My information can be boring sometimes. But it's about you as the host that can be lively, can get people to talk, to engage.
Yeah.
And you have a very, likable something rather. When I'm watching you or listening
Vince
to
called me
you-
likable.
No, but you do.
That's because he hasn't worked with you for 26 years.
Yeah, I come and
Lina,
go.
you're not allowed to
just
laugh
saying.
at that.
I'm just
Come
saying.
and go. It's an easy thing. No, but you are, and
I think that
make
should
whatever
get the
you're
cake.
saying interesting. I mean, numbers to me.
Well, and I said that to him once when he was first like putting it together, and he was trying to think of like at the format. And I remember saying like, you always sound best when you're not so much trying to make a point, but when you get into the conversation. And like I've watched him. Obviously, we've worked together a long time. I've seen him in so many environments. So it's different when he's doing a speech, but when he is like teaching the classes or doing the conversation, is that you always come out best conversationally, because that's where people hear the numbers, hear the data, but they hear it in a format that's digestible. They can turn around and regurgitate it. They know what they're talking about. It's true.
You're
and
right.
I try not to say to him, because the ego goes this way, but it really is, in all the years that I've known him, it really is just so true that when he is just sitting having a conversation and not focusing on how do I give information, and he's just talking and he makes it real world, people walk away and they're like, oh, I understood inflation and CPI in a way I never did.
Yeah, Ray the other day actually told someone that consumer spending 70% of GDP. He didn't know where it came from.
He's like,
See what you learned sitting behind the scenes on the show.
And I heard Lina yelled at a friend of hers saying, what are you saying? If the Fed cuts rates, that doesn't mean mortgage rates go down. You don't know that?
Okay, see?
But that's the point.
Right.
But that's the point.
But the
right?
conversational aspect is where, and then it's real world. Like we've talked on the show how many times about our personal experiences, because it matters. We all go through all of the same stuff that we're trying to impart knowledge on to people.
Well, the hardest part for me was going from like panelist to host. Because I'm used to being asked the questions, you know, and I still do a lot of that. I do a lot of Zooms, still do teaching like you.
Sure.
So to kind of have to do both, it was like, well, am I going to be good at that? And of course I knew I was. But
It's hard to be that credible source, isn't it?
no.
He's so great. Just ask him.
Yeah, just ask him.
I was like, I'll just do what Vince does. Just not as flamboyantly, but
There you go.
you know.
I just feel like I have an inside, seat to this one, on Tuesday mornings, a special 1 hour of coffee, whatever. I learn a lot, and I mean that sincerely. I mean, when
Oh, and I'm
look at the
working that
data-
entire time, by the way. I'm not just
No,
having
but I
coffee.
love
You
our
are.
Tuesday mornings. I miss them when
do too.
when I'm
Well,
not
that was a
around.
book, Tuesday Mornings with Maury, right?
That's
now it's
right.
Tuesday
Well,
mornings with
well,
Vince.
there you
That's
go.
right.
See?
We
And
could write a book
I know
about
Maury
that.
sounds pretty good right now.
Exactly. But I miss, I look for the data
Yeah.
and the reports every week. I mean, I literally sit at my computer saying, "Where is it? Hurry up."
And
Come
I
on.
thank you. I
No,
thank you because I
seriously.
write some of them, so I
Yeah,
appreciate
no,
that.
very informative. But again, that's what people need to see. That's what people want to see, and it helps with the understanding of where we are. People say, "What kind of market is this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's whatever you want to."
Well, I
to
think
be.
too,
Yeah.
you have to make what is boring to a lot of people.
Well, that too.
Economics,
It is-
data.
it is.
Well, that's what I'm
Make
saying.
it exciting, and that's where the funny analogies come
Yeah.
in. And it's something I've been doing now. I've been an economist for 34 years
But you've always been out there, though. Talking to people
because they
teaching
shoved
people.
me out there.
Yeah, but
People
not
always
everybody
feel like
can do that.
People would come up to me after I gave a speech or whatever, and they'd go, "Where'd you get your media training?" I'm like, "What's media training?"
yeah. What does that
It's like
mean?
they just put me in front of a camera and said, "Go."
Listen, it's kind of like we said this. Not everybody can do this. You have a way of getting.
Well, we keep saying
information
that
that's
so we
not,
get less competition. If we keep saying not everybody can do this,
You
it
don't
takes a
have
skill set.
competition. Well, you don't have competition.
Well-
you own this marketplace. So
Because
that's
it's
what-
Greg Heim's crossing the line. Not everybody
There you
else can have a.
Well, nobody else is Greg Heim,
Nobody
That's
else
correct.
is Greg Heim.
right?
There isn't a-
See right there. Nobody
There's
else
only
is Greg
one other
Heim.
Greg Heim out there, and my son has no interest in
And he
doing
has no
it.
But
interest in
technically,
Greg.
he's junior,
I
so
call him
we could
junior,
split hairs with that.
Correct.
It's hard to call him junior when he's got
He's
a couple
taller
inches
than
on you.
you.
Yes, it is.
Well, that happens. I know. I see my nephew all the time. I'm like, okay, hi. Really.
Yeah.
but we look to
it's,
incorporate. We talk about our families and
Yes.
Lisa's family when I'm allowed to, and I don't have to pay for the privilege of saying their names. But also, talking about sports or plugging every one of my gigs. I'll be at Bronzino in Northport this
Don't
Wednesday.
talk to him about football, okay?
No, don't mention the Jets. I
Don't,
was in a good mood.
don't say the J word.
Having the bobbleheads here serve as inspiration.
I like
it's
those. I
fun.
tell you all the time, they're wonderful.
Well, it's been great to work with you both. It's very and Morgan's been great, and everybody that's been on the show.
You have a great team.
My good buddy Martha Stark, my old
Yeah.
guitar teacher who's in town, Mark Marino, my son and his younger cousins. Like
that was a cute
lot
show.
of
Oh
fun.
my God, what a
I
cute
missed
show.
it. I know.
It was
I
fun.
mean, I heard it, but I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing more shows. You do realize it's like with the gigging, like you have a gig and you go, wow, it was a really good gig. And you have another gig, wow, it was a really good gig, and then you realize maybe it's just I know what I'm doing. And I think with this,
You get more comfortable.
Well,
you know what
and-
works, what doesn't.
It's a matter of knowing where your happy place is for you. You've got two really happy places outside of your normal work day.
trust me, we're going to my happy place right when the show's finished. We're going to Canada.
Yes, we are.
I like that place too.
But I want to thank you guys for doing thank you for the cake.
You have to enjoy it later.
Well, maybe we'll just come back and eat it after lunch.
We can
Who
certainly do
knows?
that.
But all right, so now in our next segment, we're going to have the unveiling.
Oops.
Oh.
See, I would have thought Ray
Exciting.
was more nervous initially, but maybe the scotch helped. And Lina's looking. I don't think Lina should be nervous. She's
There are crack production team, right?
Yeah,
Do a
who's gonna
thing.
be making
I love
sure we're
them
looking
both.
good?
I tell
Yeah,
them
they're
all the time.
fabulous,
I mean, come on now,
fabulous.
really?
And look, there's been a lot of people that help with this show. Obviously, it starts with Matt and the department,
Of course.
and and Hannah, who was the first co-host for I think the first 25 episodes, had to bear with me not knowing what we're going to do next.
None of us did.
No,
None of us did.
It's good though to start your podcast when you have runaway inflation and like all this concern about it.
You have plenty to talk about.
Plenty to
gives you
talk
No
plenty of
shortage of material.
yeah,
Exactly.
plenty of material.
And we used to strive for like 15 to 30 minutes, and now, our egos
Anything
are so
goes.
much. Yes.
Yeah.
But the first time I asked him to be on my show, it's like I didn't know if he was going to say yes or not. I mean, he's a senior executive here at Brown Harris. I'm like,
Wait,
whatever.
I could say no.
Oh, you could. But you
Well,
didn't.
you are
You said
broker at
sure.
this company.
Absolutely. Just tell me where to go.
Well, it's like it's the Vince Rocco.
And one other thing, every time he is on the show, when he appears on the show, what do I tell you? All
The
about?
highest ratings you ever get.
Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So something about numbers, okay?
See, you want to talk about someone who should get paid if their name is mentioned on a show? It's me. All right, so we're going to take our last break and then
Residuals.
be back with the Wonder Twins, Ray and Lina.
Oh,
What
exciting.
a treat.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
All right, and we are back, and this is what I've been looking forward to the most of this 100th
You
show.
have 1 minute.
They deserve a hand.
Whoa!
We get a hand.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
And I'm going to do like, what was it, Live and Let Die, where the guy presses the button and it locks Bond into the chair.
Oh, and then
Now you just can't leave. So these are the people that really make it happen, and they've been since the beginning. We have Lina,
It's the beginning.
and we have Ray. You could probably tell who was who. So let's start with Lina here. Now, when you were told you're going to be working on an economics podcast with a chief economist, how excited were you?
Thrilled. So
Hey, wait, make sure you tell the lies directly into the microphone so everybody
into the mic. No, but it's been great over the past over 2 years
been over
now.
2
We've
years.
been
Wow.
running, and when we started, you guys remember what the studio looked like.
Yes.
We had like stools.
That too.
We had nothing compared to what we have now, which has been a great progression. In addition, thank you to the Everset for helping us develop our sets.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
And then just seeing the growth that everyone's achieved over the past 100 episodes has been amazing.
What do you have to say for yourself, Ray? Now we had worked together a lot before doing videos and the such. Going into this, you're like, another one of these? Was that your feeling?
No. This is much more interesting and much more work on my end, to be honest with you.
Well, he says that with a somewhat straight face. Now, when you think back on the first couple shows, does anything stand out other than like, do they know what they're doing? Because that's what was in my mind a lot of the times.
I miss the sound effects. I don't know if anyone remembers.
We
the
did have sound
Oh,
effects at
the
the
but
beginning.
that was a lot of fun.
That was
And a lot of times I sit there and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could hit one of these sound effects.
Well, I think Hannah had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
And then the problem with that was we had to wear headphones so we could hear the sound effects.
Yeah, exactly.
And that messed up my hair, so I couldn't be having that.
Yeah,
But-
blame the headphones.
Plus, when we started, we were a lot more irreverent about a lot of things. Like I would make fun of Hannah being from Jersey and all things Jersey. We lived to make fun of, what was formerly Xanadu, now the American Dream Mall, and what a
right.
disaster that was. And, one of my favorite things was when we were talking about Cookie Monster being on Twitter, talking about shrinkflation.
People are still talking about
And I
that.
did a Cookie Monster imitation because somebody made me and it said I was a demonic Cookie Monster. Was
You
that
were.
true, Lina?
Yes, absolutely.
Really? Because it was a little too much me, no like shrinkflation. He's a monster.
terrifying.
I mean, he may be a Muppet, so you're not so afraid of him. But he's a monster with an addiction. Isn't that scary?
That's terrifying.
Now, what stands out? Any episodes stand out for you? Is one that you really like, wow.
I really liked the one with your family and your son came on. I thought that was really nice that we got to see everyone.
Except for his mullet. He's in full of mullet mode.
That is true. And then what else? Oh, I guess you guys did the episode. I wasn't here that day though, the one with your guitar teacher.
I just saw Mark last night. It was funny because he would always call me up at these things, and then I'd have a song ready, and then he'd go like, "Stay here." I'm like, "What are we playing next?" He goes, "I don't know." So I told him I was just going to bring him on at the end to play, and then we got ready to film. I said, "No, you're doing the whole show." He's like, "What?" But we called it the economics of jazz, and we just talked about it. But it was great working with my nieces, nephews, and my son. Planted a Vince Rocco joke on my son when I introduced him.
Oh yeah, that's
Gregory
right.
famously said, "Wait, I thought I was going to be on the Vince Rocco show," and I was like, "No, I wouldn't do that to you." But anything stick out for you? You laughed and clapped so much.
Oh yeah.
And I know you're not that happy of a guy because I've known you a long time. No, I think, it's funny because you become very self-aware in this chair of going on. Something like maybe you're feeling now. Now you have a little sort of more sympathy for me.
This is
You guys, we have Lisa and Vince still here. Walk around and talk a lot. So
we don't walk around. And
no,
talk
you
a
do.
lot.
You're like looking at cameras and
Make sure the cameras are working.
You've snuck out of the room in the middle of a sentence, and like you've pointed at things and you've made faces. Do you have any idea how distracting that stuff is?
Sorry.
You know what they
I
say
won't do
about
that
behind
anymore.
the scenes sometimes, behind the camera, what goes on? It could be really interesting.
Or what goes on after the show when I berate Ray? No,
I think we should wrap this up now.
No,
Really.
you
I
it's
think
not
we
your
should
show.
Come in for a land.
It's not your show.
I'm still waiting for you to walk in during my show one day and just play the guitar because I think.
Well, how much are you paying me?
Oh, my
That's the
God.
important thing. I don't work for free anymore.
Listen, I would love to see that.
Call Nikki. She's cheaper.
No, she is not. No, Nikki is not cheaper. Again, this Wednesday at Bronzino in Northport. Why are you so shy, Ray? Me and Ray talk music all the time. We have a lot of fun, good banter. And he gets on the show, and now he's zipping the lip. All right, I'm just going to ignore you and talk to Lina the rest of the time because that's fun. So you do like doing the show, and you've learned a lot. Do you find you're lecturing your family and friends in economics?
Oddly, yes. With odd things about mortgage rates. Why do I know about mortgage rates? Because of you.
Well, you could give Loan Daddy a
And
little bit of
Scott. And Scott for sure.
Did you expect to learn so much from a silly podcast?
I did not. No, but it's been great. And yeah, over the last 100 episodes, another stat that I would love to let you know is we've hit over 1.5 million views.
See, and if each of you viewers sent me $1, I could retire. How many views does Vince have? No, we don't want to hurt his feelings. Vince just crushes it in podcast downloads, though. He has a global following. He's very big anywhere in the world. He gets off a plane in any country. It's like, it's Vince Rocco. Oh my God. But the podcast is like doing a gig. When I do a gig, I'm only nervous until I get there and see there's people there. Because the worst thing is nobody's there. With a podcast, I'm always looking to get better. So you're always looking at the numbers, how many views, how many downloads. And look, some weeks you don't understand, like why was one better than the other, or was it? I thought that was a good show. And the worst thing is when your highest rated show was the one Lisa Ray co-hosted, and then like she never let you hear the end of it.
And I remind them all the time.
And her mother never let you hear the end of it, and her aunt never let you hear the end of it, and her sister never let you hear the end of it.
We raised her well.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys working on the show. It's been a lot of fun. We've given dating advice.
Oh yeah, that was a funny episode.
We got to go back to that because that was funny.
That was good.
Dating advice?
Yes, it was Fred and
That
Scott.
was Scott's. What was his one of his associates at work or something?
Yeah. So the story was that his friend had gone on a date, and when the check came, she had mentioned it. He said, "Do you want to split it?"
Yeah.
And it's funny because I asked Lina first, like, what do you think about that? And I'll never forget what she said. It's like, it's a first date. You got to pick up that check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Don't worry, they're all available on our YouTube page.
On the More Network,
On the More Network, yes. It's funny. That's the stuff I miss because it's been so busy with Fed stuff and the no hire, no fire economy and all the stuff that we don't get to have the fun we used to have. But we had some really good laughs in here.
But you, Scott, and Shar definitely have a wonderful banter and humor that carries the show.
Do you know what the funny thing is? With Hannah, I knew, because we worked together and, we would talk and we had a lot of the same interests. Like, you knew it's like, okay, there's a rapport there. I feel all right about it. Shar, I spoke to, I think, for 5 minutes on a Zoom before we did this. And, you know, but I'd seen the TikToks he was putting together, and they're really hysterical, like doing a whole thing on how much of a mortgage Peter Griffin could qualify for, or he had like brokers make fun of him the whole time. I was like,
Scott did that.
yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
And sorry, Scott. You know, a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. And Shar was, I think, more worried because he hadn't had the social media experience. But he brings the dry aspect to the show, and he's just a magnet for jokes.
He's your resident on-site attorney for all
He's
things.
keeping us all out of jail.
Keeping everyone out
I
of
heard you
jail.
all carrying on while you were talking before, and I was all the way over there.
Yeah, we got to. Well, you know what it is? We like each other's company, I guess, is the nice way to put it. But we also have all these texts going around, and you know, we talk a lot. And it's good because you never know, especially the first time you work with somebody. And I've learned this from gigging too. You know, with Nikki, it was like, boom. It was like a rocket from the first show. Sometimes it takes a little bit. And when you don't know what you're doing, like now we have this format down. We can slide people in. Lina's going to co-host the next show, by the way. And Ray will put back where he likes to be in his I'm not paying attention chair in the dark.
He listens, though.
I listen and watch every single thing.
He
that's
has
going
asked
on
me
in
a
it.
lot of questions. I remember one of the shows we did early on. I think I said, like, you guys got any questions? You started asking me about crypto, like left and right.
I think I remember that.
It was funny, but we did try a lot of things that didn't stick, like the sound effects. You know, no one wanted to wear the headphones. You know, we don't get as many emails to ctl@bhsusa.com as we would like. We'd always like to hear more feedback. We used to do a rant of the week, but then, you know, maybe I got too
The
aggressive.
whole show became a rant of the week.
I know, that's true. Especially when our teams lose or the Fed opens their mouths. We don't like that. Did you ever think you'd have to listen to this much about the Federal Reserve?
Never.
No, we need to talk more about Lina things. Well, what do we need to add to the show to get the Lina demographic? Because we're eagerly trying to get that demographic.
Maybe like restaurant recommendations.
Canaletto is the place to go.
That Canaletto. Top of the.
We love on
Ask
the
for Elvis.
Ask for Elvis. Tell him Greg sent you. They'll take care of you there. That is really his name. I'm not. No, I know you know that. I'm telling the folks, if there's any still watching.
That's what I'm wondering.
So restaurant reviews, you got anything else? Television shows, streaming stuff?
Yeah.
Watch
that would be
Landman,
nice.
most entertaining show in the history of
I
television.
keep hearing about this.
It is. Billy Bob Thornton, I would love to have him on the
And
show.
Demi Moore, right?
And Demi Moore, it is, and John Hamm.
John Hamm. Oh, I didn't realize he was on that.
It's really entertaining because Billy Bob Thornton's a train wreck on his shows.
Yeah.
And it makes it great. And you know, for the old guy demographic, I already got that covered, Ray. So the old guy with follically challenged. But when we started the show, it was to be informative, concise, edgy, and entertaining all at once. And we used to joke that we would never hit all four of those in a show. We're just striving for one. And we've gotten a lot of good comments, and the support has been great. We appreciate all the listeners and viewers out there. Again, we'd love to hear from you at ctl@bhsusa.com.
We love you, Greggy.
I'm not paying Vince to say that because we don't have that. That's not in the budget. But, you know, he can say what he wants because he brought cake. Lisa didn't bring anything, so, you know, she's in charge.
Not a charm.
What more do I thank you?
The gift that keeps giving.
That's right.
But we want to thank everybody. Who knows what the next 100 shows will look like. But, and who knows how much will change by then. Just think of how much things can, you know, think a year ago, we weren't talking about AI or, you know, every minute of the day. And, you know, we weren't talking about mortgage rates like we are now. And you think about everything that changes. So we will try to remain relevant. Are we relevant,
Always.
Ray?
Extremely.
Thank you, buddy. Well, with those words of wisdom, to my good buddy Ray, and to Lina, to Vince, to Lisa, to Ray, to Morgan, to Hannah, everybody that's worked on the show, Martha Stark, Ari Harkoff, we've had a bunch of them, Candace and Melissa.
Yeah.
You know, we've done the cross shows, which are always fun
I
to
love
do.
those. We should do those again.
Well, the best was on Vince when we did Battle of the More Network Stars. I remember that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to think whose show that was. I thought it was Vince's show.
I was a Vince.
That
Yeah,
was
was
a
it
good-
your
I think
show or
that was-
Kligerman? Might have been Steve's show,
Oh, it
actually.
might have been.
Kligerman
Yeah.
show.
That was one of the first.
Well, he needed to get the ratings up,
Yeah.
so he's like, let me get Vince and Greg on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But that is the show. as we sign off from the first quarter and the end of March. And there'll be no show next week because I'll be up in Buffalo. But we will have a show the week after that. Well, hopefully I won't see too many of those flags. They're all about the Sabres now because the Sabres are playing some great hockey. Anyway, have a great week. And again, thanks for all the support.
To 100 more.
Yes. Now let's eat the food.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business. And it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.